Hello YouTube. Here we are down in our farm. This is in South Georgia, kind of middle Georgia actually, I guess you'd say. We've got about 100 acres out here, and we actually came down for some other purposes, some business and some other things, but I just grabbed a few knives as I went out the door. We're going to do a little informal, some chopping and some cutting. I haven't seen many cutting tests on this one, so I went ahead and grabbed it. I decided I'm going to use it anyway. It's the one that well, you can see. Let me bring it over here close. I was just trying some patterns on it right here of doing the making like a Hammond line. It didn't come out very good, mostly because I'm inept, but I just played with it. Next time I'll know a lot better how to do it. So, but this is the Crowell Barker commercial reproduction, and I'll have to look. I'll put a note on this when I get back home and as to exactly what the steel is. Took me a while to dig it out, but I finally found it. Knife has a nice distal taper down, nice convex edge, very sharp. I've done just a tiny bit of cutting with it, and it cuts really well. So I think it'll do a good job. The other one is my CKC Forrester here, and this is actually the Forrester-B, and again we have a this one is pretty much full width down through here. It's a nice stout knife, convex, nice finger choil. You can choke up, use it short. This is my go-to knife. I just blued this, and this is just wear and whatnot. This is what I actually carry on a pretty much daily basis. Anytime we're in a place like this, this pretty much is what you'll see me with. So we have a little stand across here of what we think. When we got home last time, we looked, and as far as we can tell, it's sassafras. So I'm going to try and whack on this a little bit with these. This stuff, even standing in green with sap in it, is just ridiculously hard. I said last time I was down there, you'll actually probably see this video before a much, it may be the lengthier one that we did last year. It was all chopped up in pieces, and it was horrible. So mine's mirror was nice enough to consent to put all those pieces together and make it into something. When I came down there then, I just started my channel, and I had that 15-minute or 10-minute time limit, so it was we were trying to guess, and I just made a horrible mess out of it. So we'll try to do a little better. We discovered this stuff is just pretty hard, even standing, and I'm actually going to cut some of these for walking sticks and things and cure them out and see how they do. I think they'll be tremendously strong. I've never dealt with this kind of wood before, so I don't know what characteristics it has. We usually get hickory or something like that for our walking sticks. Another favorite, let me show you real quick before we get into the cutting. And you can get this anywhere. You folks overseas, bamboo, I'm sure it grows all over. It grows all over Georgia too, and other places. It's super light. It's extremely strong. You know how big I am, and I'm big. Look at that. And much lighter than oak or anything. So we put a crutch tip on it. I drill a hole through, put a thong. I usually keep it tied up unless I'm going up a hill or something. And then this has a loop on it that I can put my hand in to drive up without my hand slipping down. I'll take silicone and put on each end, you know, more to just kind of seal it off from moisture than anything. And then down here, Walmart crutch tip, you're done. That's pretty much it. This one is, I don't know, I actually bought this piece at Pier 1 probably 15 years ago, and it just works great. And it may be older than that, maybe 20 years old, but I really like the bamboo for the walking sticks. So let's get into a little cutting. Let's set this out of the way. And let's start with this. One of the things that both Kylie advocates and Reggie Barker and Jim Crowell is the forward. Let's see if I can get this right. Been a while since I did it. Maybe one more. This forward lanyard hole. And when I'm really cutting with something this big around these valuable body parts, the most valuable parts almost I know of in the world, I like this because, you see, if I let go, that blade goes nowhere. It's right there, still in my hand. I can grab it right back. If you have your lanyard back here, you've then got a swinging big old side, and believe me, you don't want that. So let's try this one on this stuff. And like I said, this stuff is hard even standing. It's not the same as cutting in the seasoned hemp, but it's not far from it either. Now this is standing live timber. You see, it's just dry. It's hard. It's just amazingly tough stuff. I got a little grapevine here or something. What is that, Mare? What do you think? Mare, like me, is shaking her head. We don't know. Probably not grapevine. Probably some sort of ivy or something, strangler, big vine. But I took a bigger one than I would normally cut here for just to check the cutting ability of this. So we're going to take this guy down, and then we'll try the Forrester after it, the Forrester-B. Those are nice, easy swings. It's taking good bites. I'm letting the knife do the work, and timber. Feels good and sharp. Now you may have noticed there I had a real glancing blow, and that puts a lot of stress on the side of the blade. It wants to twist that edge over as it drives it through like that. I don't feel any roll or curl, and it still feels sharp as it can be. No chips that are visible. Don't feel any. Still just as sharp as when we started. And we'll clean some of this up with smaller knives. Now we're going to try the Forrester-B. And let me go ahead and put the lanyard on the front. I usually tie this with a square knot because it's easy to get on and off. And when I'm not doing heavy chopping, I put it in the back hole. And I just turn it, I don't know how other people do it, I just turn it down till it's the appropriate tightness so I can let go and it doesn't go anywhere. Just like that. Let's see, I think this guy next to it is almost identical in size. Remember, we've got a smaller knife here, but you know, still not an inconsequential size blade. Nothing like what D-Bear was using the other day. You know, I have a 2-pound sword to swing at something, but I think it'll cut pretty good. So let me get some of these vines again out of the way. Any area you're chopping in, you always want to clear out the arc of your swing, if you will. If you don't, you know, there's always a chance that you could get into something, it'll turn that blade and come right back into you. Never a good thing. And I'm cutting these up high just for the camera. This is a little stand that's going to be taken down anyway. So I'm just doing this because it's a lot easier for me and a lot easier for you guys to see, I think. Loose grip, easy swings. And timber. Alright, now we'll assume that we're going to actually use this for something, so we're gonna clear out some of the crud. Actually, I will use this. This will make a great walking stick. Whoops. If I could hit it in the same spot. And even with all the spring and the movement of this, I'm still getting a real good cut. That's probably, I guess that's about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches across there. Yeah, with just real easy swings. And I have a lot more experience with this guy, so I knew it would cut. Let's see. Let's do a little more lemon with this one. Yeah, it's just popping this stuff. You know, really for that size, I just couldn't ask a lot more. I think that that knife is pound for pound or ounce for ounce, however you want to say it, as good as any. Again, similar grind here. You know, bigger blade, but better bite. Yeah, more mass, but not that much difference. They're really pretty comparable. Try to get some of this out of the way where you can actually see. There we go. I can sharpen this side, and we can cook hot dogs on that. How about that? Whoops. I'm trying to walk around this thing, and each chop was going lower instead of in the same spot. The chopping efficiency is the same. This handle is not as comfortable. One thing I'll probably do to this when I get home is this needs to be much more rounded, and this needs to be rounded. When I come back, it's really hitting my hand, and I can tell if I did a lot of chopping with that, there'd be a hot spot there in no time. This handle, much more comfortable. Kylie's already rounded it well all the way around. Much less pronounced here, but still enough to grab onto. We're trying to get just a little bit of spotty rain here, so I'm hoping it won't knock us out of what we're doing. Let me grab this first one again. And if you wonder why I keep looking down, the area we're in is just ate up with snakes. And in fact, on the way in here, we saw a guy with a rake, and he had, I don't know, probably a 6-8 foot rattler, and he was throwing it across the road. They'd killed it probably in their yard, and he was chunking it across the road into the field. Look at the bite on that. And there you have it. This knife is definitely more comfortable. There's just no question. That handle can be made comfortable, but as it's delivered, if you're one that likes to get your knives and not do anything to them, probably not the knife you want. Look for something with a handle more like this, more rounded. It's also very long, and I think on a chopper that's important. You're holding a knife like this or like this in a loose grip. you can hold it back here where it can rotate in kind of a ring grip. You've still got this piece back here. If you just swing a nice easy angle, you're not going to have any problems with it. So let us, I'm going to try to do some whittling. We need to move the camera real quick. We'll keep it running, so just bear with us. But I'm going to try to get it up under the, where I've got the trunk of the SUV opened up, and I brought some little knives to whittle with. So we'll move over there, and you guys will just bear with us. We'll be right back. Here's a nice piece to whittle on. Here's a knife I started a while back. This is CKC PenKnife, and I just made a blue Kydex sheath for it, and it's got a white ivory micarta handle. The handle was too thick, and I thinned it, and then I made it octagon shape, which I favor along with other people. So let's try a little whittling here. Oh wow! Yeah, if you can cut this stuff like this. This stuff is hard. It's just dense as it can be. Like I say, we're going to take some back. We think it's sassafras. Don't hold me to that. We're going to try to. We've got tree book at home. We're going to try to identify it. I'm really impressed with that. This is Kylie. Don't sue me. I'll put the right thing on. I think it's 01 on this particular blade. And what, 2.5 mil thick. For an everyday work tool to do stuff like this, carving, I couldn't ask for more than that. I have all kinds of control, and it's just all kinds of bite. Great knife. The next one up is from our good friend Bob Dozier, and I say good friend, I know the man very casually. I don't want to give the impression that I'm, you know, like his best friend or anything. He's a fine gentleman. I have spoken with him on many occasions, know him, but you know, just to talk across the knife table. But this one is CTX XHP, which I've heard it described as D2 on steroids. I've been carrying this now that it's getting hotter. I usually switch from a wood handle to a Kydex handle. In the summertime, a lot of humidity here in the south, and you're wet all the time. So the wood handles suffer some. I prefer them, but I carry them in the winter. I go to the micarta in the summertime. You know, have duplicates of my favorites usually and have them in micarta. Look at that. Just like the other one. Really good bite. Controllable. You could do, with that modified Wharncliffe, you could just do all kinds of fine work with that. Well, let me, I've shown this on another video, but I want to show it again because I think it's important. I like the Wharncliffe design, probably one of my all-time favorites. But I like it where, if you'll notice on this end, it's not perfectly flat. A lot of them are. And to me, that limits the usefulness of the knife. Now it makes for a more aggressive cutting knife. If this is perfectly flat, when you slash into something or cut into something in that respect, it really really is more aggressive. And you know, Michael Juranich or one of those guys, if you look in the tactical knives, you'll see that he did some tests where you have a curve here and a flat, and the flat just is much more aggressive. But that's not what I use a knife for. I use it to cut, to carve, to whittle with, and just that tiny little upsweep makes all the difference. It looks good and it works really good. And I've often said that with Bob Dozier knives, one of the things I like is the everything is understated. And you know, that's just many years of him understanding what makes a knife cut well. He has these little indentations. You know, they're not aggressive, deep finger grooves. I call them finger bumps. And you can still put this knife anywhere in your hand that you want. You can move it around, but it's just super comfortable in any grip. They don't interfere with a chest lever grip. They don't interfere with any other style of grip either, and it just works extremely well. There's no hot spots on this knife. I could whittle all day with this easy. Through knot, and on this stuff, that's saying something when you can cut through those. This will probably be, along with the CKC, my 2 summer carrying knives that I will test long term, but just effortless to carve with. And then with that fine tip, I can get down here and make feather sticks, or you know, this, let me see if I can, they're just paper thin. They're you know, just perfect. Of course, obviously this is green wood, so I'd be using something else, but I don't think it would be any different on any other wood. And then lastly, for me, we have the new kid on the block, and this, I've got several CKC test mules, and this is CruWear. For those of you old timers out there, there was a material, a steel called VascoWear, high-speed tool steel. It has always been my benchmark that I measure everything else against for edge holding, toughness, you know, not rolling, whatever. VascoWear for years and years and years was the top. The only thing that eventually finally ever beat it was the diamond blade friction forge blades. They are as good or better. I've never done a head-to-head test. I will do one to see just what, you know, which one is better. CruWear is like an improved version. It's a crucible powdered metal, and it has more of everything that made the I don't know how good you can see that. It has more of everything that made the diamond blade, or excuse me, the VascoWear knife so good. And that's this is Koa. It's the first time I've ever used this wood. I got this from my good friend Tim Troyer, and I love it. I'm going to get me some more Koa, some mosaic pins. So let's see, we've got to get on this because I got a feeling we're fixing to get wet. Now, bigger knife, great cutting ability. I put on all my Spyderco mules, I put a like a mini convex on there. That's what this has, but I really didn't have time. You'll notice that if I had done it like I normally do it, this would come back up higher. I just didn't have time. I grabbed these things, we hit the road, and so I touched them up briefly. Go through this knot here. Let's see. That's a, yeah, it'll do it, and it would be even sharper if it yeah.
I like that pretty good, guys. You can get a really good bite with it. Handle, super comfortable. I'll take credit for at least a little bit of that. As you may have noticed, those of you who are knife fanatics, the guard that they put on here is gone. With this handle shape, I just think it's unnecessary. I see no reason for it, and I love to choke up when I'm doing power cuts if I'm not using a chest lever grip. So I hold the knife right up by the edge, and of course, if that guard's there, it goes right in my finger, and it's very uncomfortable. So here, we've just eliminated that. We can get up where your hand is literally right by the cutting edge, and that's about the most power you can get in a fist or hammer grip. Chest lever grip. Same thing. Just cuts really well. You know, if you're used to seeing guys do cuts on pine and softer woods, it's hard to convey. Can you hear that? This is green live wood. Listen to that. It's like hitting seasoned hickory. It's the darndest stuff I've ever seen. So I'm going to actually take some of this back to play with this time. I'll probably send just some sample pieces to a couple of people so they can mess with it. But when you can cut as effortlessly, really, as all these have done so far into this stuff, it's saying something. The last knife that we have is my winter daily carry knife. This was the last fiddleback maple that I had, and out here with the dark skies, I don't know how that's going to show up. I'm getting the tilt signal from my production manager here. Now I got the thumbs up. Blue liners, and it's a CKC Streamline. I always want to call it a slim line, I believe, and if I got that backwards, Kylie's going to have a field day with me. But I think it's the Streamline. It is probably one of the best designs he's ever made. Perfect size, perfect everything. The grind on it that he put on mine, I always ask for what I call a mid-convex grind, meaning that he could grind these thinner if you want. The steel's certainly capable of it. He could grind them thicker too for even more strength, but I cut with my knives. I do a lot of slicing, so I like the idea of the strength, but I like having it, that slicing and cutting ability. So he, on all of mine, he kind of goes somewhere in the middle. But you know, that's when you get your knife from him. You know, if you want a pure slicer, tell him. He can grind it thinner. If you want a, you know, twisty, bendy, really hard use knife, he can grind it thicker. I like this, you know, I guess again, like Bob Dozier, all things in moderation. It falls somewhere in the middle. It's full height, goes all the way to the back, and I just love it. Good bite. It'll get right on in there. And if you can get that deep a bite in this stuff, that's probably like going twice that deep in a piece of pine or deeper. This stuff is just incredibly hard. I actually thought about using something else because the other test is with this same wood, and I think we just went for a ride with the camera, but we're back now. We didn't mean to make you guys dizzy. It just happens. We're the rankest of amateurs, believe me, as you can tell. This stuff is so hard that I thought, well, you know, the other video we made it using this same wood. I think we should do this one out of that. but you don't get the spectacular, you know, whack through in one bite. But I guarantee you, if you had some pour knives, you know, a big heavy V grind or something, and you tried to cut this stuff, it'd just sit there and bounce. It is just amazingly tough wood. So I think that pretty well wraps up what I brought today. And we're out in this, you can't really tell it, but this is a plowed field. And last thing I want to do is see my Escalade mired up to the hubs out here. So we're going to go back and get on some more solid ground. But I hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, it was spur of the moment, and just some fun with some really hard stuff. You probably wouldn't use this kind of wood in the woods, but you know, on the flip side, if you can cut with this, you know, a knife will cut this stuff. You can cut anything, any wood with it, and make anything you want out of it. So that's it for now. You guys take it easy, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.